Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today to our show, Let's Get Real with Real Estate. Today we have an incredible guest with us today. She is one of the kind. From the first year she studied real estate, she already made it to the Rookie of the Year. Every year thereafter, she has been on the top producing year after year after year. It is an honor today to have all the way from the bankers of her kitchen, the only one, Angela Taylor from Keller Williams in Plano. Angela, thank you so much for joining us. So glad to have you.
Hey Roger, thanks so much for having me.
No. Thank you so much for being with us. It's really an honor. So Angela, before we get into it, I want to know, how are you doing these days? What is going on? What's your routine with your dog, with your kids, homework? What's going on with your life?
So honestly, these days, I don't even think we have a routine. We go to bed pretty late right now since there's no school, and we're getting up. Actually, I take that back. I get up every day at 7:30 because of the puppy. She has to go potty and just can't hold it. Don't blame her. So anyways, I take her out first thing in the morning. The kids have been sleeping in. I guess I'm not one of those parents that's like super strict and regimented and says, hey, we have to get up at 8 o'clock every day. So they get up, and fortunately my kids are 10 and 14, so they're really sufficient, and they start their homework on their own. Well, I guess, is it homework or schoolwork? I mean, it's schoolwork at home. So anyways, they start their work in the morning. They usually get that done without much help. Although I will say here recently, my son, of course, had a meltdown. He's 10 and he couldn't get the screen. They're doing all this work online. So he couldn't figure out how to do the math problem on the computer. He was upset. He was crying. And I said, can you do the assignment on paper? Like, can you write it down and show me? And he did it just fine. He just didn't know how to do it on the computer. So I said, don't worry, stop stressing. I'm going to send a picture. So I took a picture and I sent it to his teacher. She said that was just fine. And he realized he did know how to do the problem. He just needs to think of a creative solution. So I kind of feel like that's how our whole business environment is right now. We all kind of know how to sell houses. We know real estate, but we have to think of these creative solutions of how to do that.
That is super cool. That is super cool. So Angela, real estate has actually completely changed. And how are you adjusting to the changes? What are you doing to adjust to the changes?
Okay, so actually I just had my first ever virtual listing appointment this week. I was a little bit nervous at first going into it, but I would have liked to have been in person. But I prepped a lot, and once I got onto the Zoom call and got it going, it went pretty well. I was actually able to share my screen with the clients. And so usually when I'm in home, person to person, like face to face with these people, I have to put my computer in between the Mr. and Mrs. or the two sellers, and I'm trying to explain to them what's on my computer or handing them a handout that they can't both maybe see at the same time. So actually it was kind of interesting that it was really beneficial to have the Zoom call, I guess, for this appointment, because I was able to share the screen. So it went really well. We actually talked for 2 hours, which anybody who knows me knows that that's pretty common. I tend to talk a lot. So even just today, I had a virtual buyer's appointment. Our buyers are coming from PGA out in Florida, and they haven't gotten to come out to look at homes just because, or to meet with me for the first time. Obviously because of all the situation going on right now. So I met with them, and again, this was really cool because usually when I talk to a buyer from out of state, we talk on the phone and I might talk about a few different places, but this time we actually used Zoom again, and I shared my screen, and as I had been talking about, all the areas that kind of border the PGA, from northern Frisco, northwest Frisco to kind of like South Prosper. We were discussing that, and I realized they might not understand without visually seeing. So I pulled up my screen on the Zoom call, and I shared that with them, and they were able to see exactly what I was talking about. And we flipped through several listings, and I kind of moved the map around to say, hey, this is where the grocery store is at. And so I think they got a really good feel for the area for that kind of first appointment. So again, I would love to meet with my clients in person. I'm definitely a people person, so I'm missing that interaction right now. But I am thankful for the day and age that we live and all this technology and being able to use Zoom. So it's been pretty interesting.
Wow, that is super cool. That is so inspiring, really, to be honest with you, Angela. So how about your clients? How they are reacting to the changes, and what are you doing to give them assurance during these uncertain times that we're living in?
So at first, all of our clients were super excited about the low interest rates. They wanted to get out there and go get a house really quickly. Then kind of as things progressed and we went to that stay-at-home shelter in place, I definitely noticed my clients' anxiety pick up quite a bit. And I had to be kind of that comfort. I think realtors wear a lot of hats. We have all this knowledge about homes, but also most realtors, if they're good, they're people person. Repetitive, redundant. Anyways, I'm definitely a people person. And in my former life, I was in full-time ministry. So for me, the way that I can help my clients is to be there for them and support them emotionally through all of this. And so one of the things, I had a buyer recently, she's actually a buyer and a seller, but she was feeling a lot of anxiety over this and just, would break down in tears. And I told her, I cry too. Sometimes I go in my bathroom and I hide so my kids don't see me, and I cry too. And it's okay because this is just an uncertain time. But we have this hope. I've been trying to encourage our sellers. We have another seller. She's been a little anxious because they're not getting a ton of showings, but they are getting showings. And so I'm trying to encourage her by showing her in our reverse prospecting that they have a ton of hearts on their property, and that we're not seeing as many showings right now as we would if we weren't in, a shelter-in-place situation, but that they are getting a lot of activity on their home, and they should be proud of how many showings they've already had. And I just keep reminding them everything's going to happen in the right timing. So to just trust and have faith, and that we're doing the best we can right now.
Wow, that if anybody got this, I promise you, this is something you really, really want to make sure that you get a hold of. So, Angela, what are you doing to continue to stay positive? I mean, you're a very, very positive person. How are you doing to stay positive and really to convey that positive attitude to your clients? What are you doing to that?
Before I was in real estate, I was in ministry, like I've said previously. And so I think as kind of all this stuff started happening, there was a lot of uncertainty. And I'm very thankful for my KW office because Plano, shout out to them. We were having calls, or we have been having calls at 4:30 every day, and it's been really uplifting and encouraging. But I know along the way there was somebody that had an idea of, just different ways that you could essentially cold call, but calling kind of your database and asking for business. And I just thought, this isn't me. I can't do that. I'm not into the sales aspect of this business. I do realize that I sell houses, but I'm really more into the relationship and people side of it, and connecting people to the place they want to call home, which I know sounds super cheesy, but that's just the reality of it. In fact, if I'm ever with clients and I feel like I'm selling a house to them, I back up and I say, wait, I love this house, but do you love this house? Because if not, then there's no point. So I never want to be a used car salesman. I apologize if anybody out there is a used car salesman, no offense. I just mean, I don't want to be salesy. So in my approach to this, I thought, what can I do to help my people? Because that's what I want to do right now. That's where I feel like when I'm feeling helpless, I kind of go back to what's second nature. And second nature to me is ministry. And so I had been reading Psalm 91 and felt like it just really spoke to what we were dealing with right now. And I wanted to pray that over not just the families, but over their homes. And so I printed out tons of that one verse. Actually, I think it was like Psalm 91, 1 through 12, I think. If just kind of off memory. But I printed those out, and then I hand wrote notes to each of our clients, and we put the kids in the car. We were all bored. We're like, we haven't been out of the house. We just want to get out of the house. So we hopped in the car, and over the last week or so, we've been going to their houses. We're not done yet, but we've been going out and driving to the houses, praying over these families, praying over their houses, praying for health and safety and their protection and security of their jobs, and for their children to be doing well in school, and for the husband and wife to be getting along, and just all the things you can imagine. For our sellers, we're praying for those specific buyers that are coming to their home. Just all the different things that we can do, because I feel like it's given me, it's not that I was powerless before, but it gives me this sense of something I can do for them, something I can offer them. So we leave the note on their door, and I either ring the doorbell or knock and run and get in the car. And one of my clients said I was like a little fairy. They didn't even see who I was before I was gone. But it's just been a way that we felt we could encourage and do something that feels right to us. There's another agent that I thought was super cute that delivered different board games to her clients, which I thought was so much fun. But really, this is what felt the most like us right now. So that's what we've been doing.
Wow, you really warmed my heart. I'm telling you, I am melted now. I mean, that was so good, Angela. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was very, very inspiring. So, Angela, there are so many people that are really afraid to buy a house, afraid to sell a house. What are you doing? What are you telling those people? What are you doing to convince those people?
Okay, so that is a great question. Like I said before, I am not into the whole sales aspect. So if my clients are telling me that they're scared or they feel like this may not be the right time, I am not pushing them right now. I know there's a lot of agents that might say, oh, you have to buy a house right now. I do remind them that yes, the interest rates are fabulous right now. And is this a wise decision? Sure, but only if it feels right. So I'm not going to push that on them. And if they tell me they're not sure, I say, you pray about it, you take the time, I'm here when you need me. But I do encourage them, hey, if this isn't the right time to buy, now is perfect time to refinance. So if you don't have a rate that's under the 4s, call your lender, let me give you some names, and get your house refinanced, and then we can go find a new house if and when the time is right. So it's just, even though I know it's an unfamiliar and it's maybe a little bit scary just because of that unfamiliarity, the market is still great. It's not as amazing as it was maybe a month ago, but it is still doing good. So I think as long as you have an agent that has your best interest at heart and a great lender that knows what they're doing, that's extremely important right now. You need a lender that understands all the changes that are happening, because that's happening daily. And sometimes even by the hour, rates are changing, or different things that you need to qualify are changing, especially for FHA. You've got to be careful. So it's just a whole new world, like that song, A Whole New World. I won't sing it to you, but it's kind of a whole new world we're living in, and we're just making the best of everything that we can.
Wow. Angela, I just want to say that was superb. That was incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. That was so good, guys. This is certain times that people like Angela are making this a lot easier than it really could be. And Angela, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing. You are truly an inspiration to all of us. Thank you for bringing such a value to our clients, to our community during these times. And I just can't wait to see you on the other side. I can't wait to hug your neck and shake your hand. Hopefully we can still do that and tell you how much I appreciate you. So thank you so much for being with us. And if you have any final thoughts, that'd be awesome.
Thanks for having me, Roger. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you and your family stay healthy and that business is going well for you.
Well, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoy it. Please, if you have any suggestions, let us know, comment, let us know, and stay tuned, because we're going to have incredible, amazing partners coming, joining us for our show. Let's Get Real with Real Estate with Roger Salazar. Stay tuned. Talk to you soon.